Good day, and we are back with the Demonos Anomaly. Now, believe it or not, I actually already recorded this entire bloody episode, but of course it desynced, and I couldn't get it synced up. In fact, multiple little chunks were desynced. Not fun. Not fun indeed. Yeah, well, that's just something we got to deal with these days, I guess. But hey, we're gonna make it. Already, I can tell you that the... God damn it. Already, I can tell you that, Hell on Earth Doom 2, that Shores of Hell, we're only at the Shores of Hell, okay? It hasn't exactly lapped over the Earth just yet. But Shores of Hell, in the PSX version, I think is a little bit better than the one on the original PC. What's interesting is, in the intervening time since I recorded the E1 Let's Play, I actually decided to read on the Doom Wiki a little bit about the PSX version of Doom. Now, the initial Doom episode that we've already played is actually based somewhat on the Atari Jaguar version of the game, which is somewhat interesting, I suppose, seeing as how the Atari Jaguar, this version of Doom was interesting, shall we say. It was more playable than the 3DO's version, but still. It didn't have any music, and you had to play it on that really shitty controller. One day I need to get me a Jag and see just what that thing is like to play. I'm actually somewhat curious to try that thing out at some point. And also I'm kind of curious to play AVP on there. I've tried to emulate it before, but the emulator just isn't there, unfortunately. It's really... The emulator, basically, it's really slow. And the last time I tried to play it, it crashed all the time. Just wasn't really worthwhile, I suppose. Which I guess is not altogether that surprising, seeing as how the Jaguar isn't what you'd call a very popular console to actually want to play. So, like, if you were to want to do Jaguar reviews, you'd have to actually, you know, buy the Jag itself and try to get some video output on that thing. And my phone is just going off like you wouldn't believe. You'd think I would turn it off, but I always forget. Now, as you can see, this level is a little bit smaller than the PC version, which I don't really have a problem with. All the going through all the boxes did get a little annoying after a while, and it certainly makes doing the Let's Play a little easier for me. And also, I like the fact the Revenant's here. Even though I hate the Revenant on principle, I still think it's cool to see him in the original Doom levels. In fact, I want to see all the Doom 2 enemies in the original Doom levels. It's just cool. It's different. But the PSX version of Doom did run on a modified version of the Doom engine. And, well, I read that it would slow down on the higher difficulty levels, which makes sense, since the PSX is trying in vain to render all the enemies on screen at once. But just in terms of level geometry, PSX Doom is absolutely excellent. And in terms of lighting, the way the developers lit this game is just excellent. It just really gives you an atmosphere quite unlike any of the other Dooms, really, other than Doom 64. And you can definitely see that this... I don't know if he really said it or if somebody paid him to say it, but John Romero apparently said this was the best Doom ever. So, yeah. I don't know if he really meant that or what, but I could probably agree with that, you know. In terms of just base Doom, this would be one of the best ones, or the best port at least, from what I've seen in the first two episodes here. We're actually just gonna blaze through this with the greatest of ease since I've already played through it, and we're kind of doing sort of a speed run almost, because I'm like not even bothering with most of the secrets or areas that we don't absolutely need to go. Which I find amusing. I've played this game so much, I'm actually getting into speedrun territory. Although, a real speedrunner would probably beat it in like a second. Like, literally, he would go so fast, you wouldn't even be able to know that the game was finished. I think that would make sense, or maybe I'm just being an asshole. I don't know. Who knows when I'm being an asshole or not? I just do it so naturally, and I didn't grab the plasma. Ah, well, who needs a plasma rifle? Those things ought to be banned anyway. Those things are evil and of the devil. Actually, is that so bad in Doom? If it were of the devil, the Satan launcher, although I know there's a plasma rifle on this level, we'll pick it up But there's one really cool aspect of PSX Doom, and some animated flame effects that we'll see a little bit later. And that's just, I know it's just a little cheesy, well, it's not even a cheesy graphic, it's a nice graphic, but it's just a little graphic, but it does make all the difference in terms of atmosphere and immersion. Now, of course, we are still playing Brutal Doom, and I'm really definitely gonna consider getting a legit copy of PSX Doom and playing through, well, not playing through it for like a Let's Play, but playing through it for a review. Because I'd hate to have to do a Let's Play, you know, with an actual console. I mean, I can do it. I can just pop that thing into the PS3 and run it that. I think I can. I just realized I might not be able to do that because I don't think it outputs in 1080, or not 1080, but I don't think it outputs in HD through the PS3 if I do that. Now I do know it does output in HD if I use PS2 games, because I have the PS2 FAT, or the PS3 FAT for USB port 1, and it will play PS2 games. It plays them pretty well, actually. It plays PS1 games as well, though, and plays those well as well. I said well as well. I speak good English, da. But I really think, though, that the previous console generation, getting into the PS3 and Xbox 360, was a very interesting generation. It lasted a very long time. Oh, we got a lag. We got lag. So I bet that bloody well desync the audio. Ah, well. If it, you know, nobody seems to notice when it desyncs anyway, so, or, no, either A, nobody notices, or no one cares, so I'll just keep it. I won't delete the file, which is what I did with the long 28-minute file I did for the previous recording of this. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't care. What's funny is after I realized that file had broken, I decided to record a Doom 2 playthrough, because there's Doom 2 on the PSX version here, and I actually did double check on the Doom Wiki. Original PSX Doom did not come with Final Doom. That was a different release, but it's part of this WAD, so if I was like, oh yeah, Final Doom came with PSX Doom, that's amazing. Now I won't say that and sound like a complete idiot. But yeah, I did a little Doom 2 playthrough that I deleted because I hated it so much. It didn't have any errors whatsoever in terms of record, but I just kept dying all the time. That's what'll happen if you try to do Let's Plays, though. Is some days you'll be in the zone, you can record a whole shitload of episodes. Like how it's barely knocked back by these. It's actually quite, ooh, that was cool. That was a cool little explosion. But yeah, sometimes you'll get in the zone, you'll just be recording episode after episode after episode. And then sometimes you'll be like, and like I shot the demon and his head exploded. Like that'll happen. It really just depends on, you know, time of day sometimes, you know, like, well, actually, no, it doesn't. I was going to say, it depends on time of day if you're really tired. Now, I've recorded at times a day, anywhere from like 5 or 6 in the morning to 12 to 1, 2 o'clock at night. Well, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. It just depends on, wow, I'm getting all sorts of texts. I hope nothing bad's happened, and it's not. Text messaging. Back in the day, no one had any idea how important that would be. Hell, there was a time when it seems like all these new any technological change that did not interest me, I could have given 2 shits about, so to speak. I didn't even give the 1 shit. I'd be like, okay, texting, who the fuck cares about that? Only, like, teenage girls do that. I would certainly never lower myself to such a thing. And look at that, that just looks so cool. It's such a little detail. Okay, come on, leave me alone, phone. Leave me be. Ooh, this looks cool even a second time. I already went through this part, but it still looks so cool. It just, the blue lighting really just sets the whole atmosphere in here. It's awesome. And it's just, you know, I really like how a lot of these not a lot of these console Dooms, but the PSX and N64 went for a more horror aesthetic. It just works so well. Doom can be a good horror game. I mean, Doom 3, despite the retroactive hate it gets for whatever reason, it works good as a horror game. Although in all reality, the gameplay is virtually unchanged from the original Dooms. I mean, you're never really low on ammo. There's a flame effect. Look at that. Look at that. Let's toss a grenade out there. Let's toss 2 of it out there just to be on the safe side. Pain Elemental. We got a Pain Elemental in here. I didn't mean to throw a grenade in. Well, it got him at least. I don't think it got. No, I didn't get the Pain Elemental, but Doom 3 was legitimately scary at times. At least I found it somewhat frightening. Do I want to waste my time in there? No, I don't. Because we just want to speed run. Promogugh. Chagach. Promogugh. Well, that makes me wonder, does the Klingon Empire have anything but warriors? You'd think it would. Okay, look at that. That looks cool. That is fucking awesome. And it's such a little effect, too. Some of the smallest effects can have the biggest impacts, but that's something when you think. I just thought about something. You know, okay, the Klingons. The Klingons, as the 22nd century people would call them. Okay, they can't all be warriors, because that just doesn't make any sense. Okay, unless they're like the fucking Borg, you know? So, do they have, like, video games? You would think they would, because they're a technologically advanced society. Now, I think all they do is practice all the time, but let's be real here. Not all of them are gonna do that. I mean, like, the Klingon video games just basically be Doom and, like, Killing Floor. That'd be cool if it was, though. I'd like to meet some Klingon gamers. Basically, they'd smell even worse than regular gamers. I kid about that. I find that, you know, gamers have an enchanting musk. Although, thankfully, I've never been around people that smell all that bad. When I went to Space City Con, it seemed like people in Texas at least know how to use a shower. But I'll tell you this. At one of the places I worked, people definitely did not know what these shower things were. It's never a good smell when you smell an unwashed body. It's just, ugh. It's like, come on, learn this stuff called soap, okay? It's not a hard concept, but apparently that's a modern day issue. Is people don't like to shower. I mean, does anyone not? I guess people just don't really have what you'd call pride. Oh, no wonder I'm not getting hurt. Okay, I forgot to turn God mode off. Oops. Goth mode? I forgot to turn God mode off. Oops. No wonder. I was like, damn, I'm doing really good. I'm not getting hit. I'm not taking any damage. Oops. My bad, ladies and gentlemen. My bad. Why would Optimus Prime say my bad? Because Michael Bay. Although in all reality, I don't see why Optimus Prime wouldn't say stuff in modern day slang. I mean, that seems reasonable. If he learned music, if he learned English from the interwebs, although he doesn't swear enough, nor does he use a bunch of slurs enough or insulting terms. He didn't call everybody a fucking scrub, scrub-a-dub, dub-a-dub, div-a-da. Yeah, we're just blasting through here like it's nothing. Now I'm starting to take hits, but I've already got so much health. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know it was still on. I needed it to, because I didn't save after I finished. So I had to just God mode my way through part of E1. Yeah, I know I need to remember what that level select cheat is, but I can't, and I cannot be arsed to look it up. We're gonna say I'm lazy. No, it's not that I'm lazy, it's just that I'm completely apathetic. Okay, I'm like a modern day person. But yes, Klingons. You know what's really quite interesting? I read a long while back. There's a game called Star Trek Starfleet Battles. Star Trek. I just remembered I can't like them anymore. Well, I'll like that one a little bit, I guess. Paramount's always been like that. You know, Star Trek Starfleet Battles predates, you know, TNG and even TMP. So, it's actually just set in the initial 23rd century, so they can't have any ship types. And when they did get some ship types from the TMP era, they had to get rid of them. So, yeah, thanks, Paramount. Truly, they are the paragons of freedom and open expression. But yeah, Starfleet Command Battle, well, not Starfleet Command Battle, but Starfleet Battles in general, was a pretty cool little game, apparently. I would never play it. Well, I say that now. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say I'd never play it, because I bet if I met the right person who actually explained it in a good way, in a way I could actually understand, I might like it. It's a tabletop war game. I'm pretty sure many people have their eyes glazing over now. Where you play space battles. And it doesn't sound... it doesn't... Well, no, let me put it another way. It sounds terrible, but maybe I would like it. And we had another bit of lag. Of course, when the recording doesn't go right, it lags. When it does go right, it doesn't. That's just RoboCop's law, you know? Because I refuse to call it Murphy's Law now. It's Robo-Law. It's Robo-Law. Yeah, we call it Robo-Law. Robo-Law. But anyway, now it's like, it has extremely complex rules and things of that nature, but what they did with the Klingons was fairly interesting. Because, like, apparently the Klingons are supposed to, like, have duels all the time between, like, a junior officer and a senior officer, and if the senior officer lost, the junior officer could become the new commander. That is, without a doubt, the single stupidest thing imaginable. Now, you know, if we're working on fiction logic, that makes sense. You know, the strong survive. Well, let's think about it, though. You've got a 20-year veteran, a 20-year engineering veteran. He knows the system inside and out. Young upstart knifes him in the back. Doesn't even know how to turn on a computer. Guess how long your ship's going to be flying around in space? And not long at all. So that's something that one must keep in mind. You know, it's like, and also, you know, if you don't have good troops, you're not going to last very long either. That's the problem. Oh, we have to go get the yellow key, don't we? We actually have to go do this. I can't just skip it. I can't speedrun it. If you don't have competent troops, you're going to lose. You lose. Now, you can throw bodies at it to a point, but eventually you are going to run out of bodies. You know, because there are these things called logistics. Now, in fiction, there are no logistics. It's just like you order a tank, it shows up. You don't have to mine the metals, you don't have to do anything. Now, like in an RTS, that's fine. It's like, well, no, in an RTS, sometimes you do have to do mining, but still, you know, the story universe has to make a little bit of sense. That's one thing I always get on about Star Wars for. Okay, you know, Vader, he's like the supreme military commander for the Empire. Well, he's a shit commander. Like, his troops have, like, next to no morale, or at least they shouldn't have any morale, because they're constantly worried about getting killed by him. So there's no trust there. He doesn't really lead very well if he has to kill his own troops all the time, and the idea of, if your subordinate fails once, kill him, is literally the stupidest thing imaginable. Why? Because that means your troops can't learn from their mistakes. They can't learn anything. You know, that's why all the good guys always win, because, you know, they can learn from their mistakes. You know, it's like, okay, if we attack like this, we'll all get slaughtered. That's a bad idea. Whereas, you know, with the Empire, okay, your commander lost once. Basically, you know what the Empire is, really? The Empire is the Soviet Union. That is what they are. They're the Soviet Union after the Stalinist purge, okay? Where they have no real competent troops. They have no... Well, the troops are okay. I don't know. Their officers are a bunch of yes men, okay? They don't have good military backgrounds or anything. They said yes to the Emperor, and that was it. Maximus! What up, dude? They said yes to the Emperor, and that was it. Okay, that was all. And that's why they have, you know, frontal assaults and stuff like that. Realistically, when the Emperor Palpatine says, you know, a whole legion of my best troops, he's probably just meaning a whole legion of my most... Well, no, let me put it this way. I know who they were, but... and I'll get to that in a minute, but... In any real sense, his best legion of troops is likely his most politically loyal troops. Not troops that are actually any good at their jobs. They're the ones that just agreed with everything, and they're good at pushing around the provincials that have no weapons or fighting training, but when it comes to fighting real soldiers, they don't stand a chance, you know. I wonder how I will get over there. I'll just jump. Brilliant. But yeah, now I do know. Okay, now we've officially finished Shores of Hell. This is part of Inferno here, but we'll finish this one just because I thought this was kind of a cool level. When I played it the first time, I mentioned how I don't really like the modern day concept of arenas. Essentially, in first-person shooters today, there's always like arenas where you have to go in and you have to fight X number of enemies to progress. Here, it's not so bad. This is by its nature an arena, but you actually have to hit a switch, which I think is cool, because at least it gives you some interactivity. It's not like you're just locked in a room and you wait until the enemies are all dead. I find that boring. That's one of my complaints, and, you know, this video is being made long before Doom 2016 comes out, but when I do 2016, I'm going to mention that it still does the arenas, which is kind of annoying, and it does kind of get boring, but you know what? It's okay. I won't give it a free pass, but it doesn't ruin the game. And I can be like, oh, it's so modern. Worst game ever, 111 or 222. I forget how that works. I won't say it's the worst game ever, or that even really diminishes it too much. But it's just, it still has some modern day trappings to it that I don't necessarily like. And once again, that looks really cool. That is a neat little thing that it has. All right, and that's Hellgate, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope that this did not get desynced. But if it does, I will smash the keyboard with my Cheeto dust encrusted fist, even though I don't eat Cheetos anymore because they give me a stomachache. But if I did, they'd be Cheeto dust encrusted. But in any event, I am GeneralLotz wishing you good Star Wars Battlefront 2, because I did not tell you what the troops were at the Battle of Endor. They were supposed to be the 501st, and they should have actually fought a lot better than they did. But whatever. In any event, it's GeneralLotz wishing good Battlefront 2, good Battlefield 2, or whatever makes you happy.